One Zambia, One Nation. This is Zanis News with me, Amos Zulu. Let us take a look at the top stories. Floods affect 16 villages in Lukanga swamps. Lufkwanyama MP warns Milopa health post workers. Stakeholders happy with President Hichilema's call for early procurement of farming inputs. Plus, ZESCO restores power to Mambwe district after 8 days of darkness. And now the news in detail. Over 16 villages and 120 hectares of maize fields have been flooded in Lukanga swamps in Kapirimposhi district. Government has since advised people living in swamps to permanently relocate to higher grounds to avoid suffering the perennial challenges. Kapirimposhi District Disaster Management and Mitigation Committee, led by the District Commissioner, has visited the area to determine the extent of the damage. Details in the following report by Carlos Bunda.
Flooding of crop fields is an annual occurrence in Lukanga swamps in Kapirimposhi district, compromising the food security and livelihoods of settlers in the area. Through the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, government has continually provided the relief to settlers in the area whose crop fields get destroyed every year. However, government is now urging settlers here to relocate to higher lands as a permanent solution to disasters caused by the recurring floods.
There's a forecast that from 2023 to 2030, the seasons will be coming like this. Now, the more you continue living here in this order, it means your survival will be at risk. If there are among you who are prepared to be assisted to go to the higher lands so that they can come out of this place, those willingly, you can come forward and register yourselves so that we see what can be done.
Cases of hunger due to poor harvest and an outbreak of waterborne diseases are imminent due to flooding.
The water is contaminated with sewer water. As a result, there might be an outbreak of waterborne diseases like cholera. There are cases of typhoid. There's a lot of stagnant water around the villages. As a result, that is going to serve as a breeding ground for mosquitoes, and there might also be another issue of malaria.
Some of the farmers that we have interviewed here are also benefiting from the comprehensive agriculture policy support program that government is currently implementing. Now, if you look at this field we are in, you realize that there will be zero harvest in this field, which means the same farmers who are benefiting will also now be in need of assistance.
Settlers have welcomed government's calls for relocation.
Ndagahanga 7 hectares yonse bogwina mpondira ngiro ndagutebulolo mwana ndizo yagoyoga popwe onse agamana agafa kumenda
tipempa tandizo yoti kukisa chifuka kunkala mu manzu mutingadwale
tulomba kwamba uti mugati mumenda ya wakumana kwa myaka yo 3 ekatubirire tulomba kugwahigwa.
Carlos Bunda, Zanis, Kapirimposhi.
And the Zambia Meteorological Department says the country is likely to experience increased rainfall once a tropical cyclone Freddy hits southern parts of Zimbabwe and northern parts of South Africa over the weekend. The department explained that the cyclone will trigger increased rainfall in most parts of Zambia around 26th February 2023. Lakson Makosa gives us the details.
The Zambia Meteorological Department, ZMD, has forecast increased rainfall activities as Tropical Cyclone Freddy makes a landfall on 26 February 2023. According to the department, the tropical cyclone will turn into a low-pressure system once it hits parts of Zimbabwe and South Africa, triggering rainfall activities across the country.
We expect the cyclone to move over the land of Mozambique by Friday, 24th of February, and there we expect this cyclone to start weakening because it will hit the land, so it will lose some power. In that, it will now become a low-pressure system. And it will continue moving westwards and hit the southern parts of Zimbabwe and the northern parts of South Africa. Once it's there, that's the time when we expect an increase in rainfall activities over our country. Most of the moisture will be drawn into the cyclone, and hence what we expect is that we'll now have moderate to heavy falls over our country after 26th of February 2023.
Meanwhile, Meteorological Department says the rainfall activities experienced in the last 7 days in most parts of the country have been induced by the low-pressure system sighted over northern part of Zimbabwe. The low pressure system led to moist and unstable airflow from Congo, resulting in increased rainfall in most parts of the country.
What is currently affecting our weather and the weather that we've had in the past 7 days was a low pressure system that was sighted over the northern parts of Zimbabwe. This led to the moist and unstable airflow from the Congo that affected most parts of the country and led to the rainfall activities that were experienced, especially in the night. We had heavier falls, especially over southern province, central Lusaka, and parts of eastern province.
Members of the public are being advised to get regular updates from the Zambia Meteorological Department on the prevailing weather patterns. For Zanis, I'm Lakson Makoza.
Mwembeshi Ward Councillor in Chilanga District, Arnold Dube, has appealed to the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit to provide tents and food for flood victims in the area. Mr. Dube explains that 26 families have been affected by heavy rains which were experienced in the area recently. Here is a report.
The recent heavy downpour has damaged several crop fields and left 26 families out in the cold in Mwembeshi Ward of Chilanga District. Area Ward Councillor Arnold Dube has called on government to quickly come to the aid of the affected residents before the situation worsens.
Requesting the office of the DMMU, so if we can be assisted urgently with tents and some foodstuffs, then we can manage to at least to secure these families which are really affected.
Some affected residents echoed similar sentiments.
Twagatenga menda agatupeha twagakere buya twagazwa manda agawa so twalikulomba borugayo kuti muntu kahirihe no boma
ya mapupu onse aganyigira mugatara so ndagashikoya kusaveva twansize bwo twindashikoya ndagatutola but injanjiko into agonongega.
Chilanga District Commissioner David Sheleni has appealed to the business community to step in and supplement government efforts in helping disaster victims across the district.
The partners, our cooperating partners in Chilanga, we have so many who are willing, so many who are helping us. We want them to come, we want to work together so that we can immediately organize some relief, work together so that immediately when our friends are hit by disasters like this one, of this nature, we should quickly move in.
As the rain season continues, more disasters are expected across the district. But with the help of concerned stakeholders in supplementing government efforts, it is hoped that the impact will be lessened for potential victims. Nkweto Kapekele, Zanis, Mwembeshi.
Lufanyama Member of Parliament Kenny Siachisumo is disappointed with the bad work culture by some health workers in his constituency. Agrippa Silumbo reports that Mr. Siachisumo said this when he paid an impromptu visit at Milopa Health Post, where he found that all workers had knocked off by 15 hours, leaving patients waiting in vain.
It was at exactly 15 hours when Lufanyama lawmaker arrived here at Milopa Health Post to appreciate the challenges health workers are facing in his constituency. To his surprise, the Member of Parliament found the institution was deserted as all workers were reported to have already knocked off, with only benches left outside. This did not settle well with him, and he now wants the district health director's office to take quick action.
We found out that what the community members have been complaining is the truth. Nurses, not just at this clinic, they are supposed to love the job, not that they just come in the morning, in the afternoon they knock off. I want to urge them to work serious. Government of UPND wants to improve the health facilities, and it's only out of the hard-working nurses that's when we can be able, to improve the health of the people of the community. I will engage the director of health in the district to make sure that, these nurses are supervised closely. I know even him, he stays very far away. He wouldn't know what is happening.
Nearby community members also gave their own views on the work culture of health workers here.
Ubureta bukwete pwempinje, burese nshiteri yonse. Uyise pano kusanga loko ni maronde. Pano twakuya pino mpi. Vashenkito ya government barukuforere ndarama pabaruere pano abaruere babashyabaya. Tofueni ko pano papa no peso tofueni ko twapapa tamwe buteko.
Milopa Health Post is over 50 kilometers from Lufanyama District Administration. Reporting, I'm Agrippa Silumbwe, Copperbelt Province.
In other news, Western Province Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa has warned civil servants against negative attitudes towards work, which he says hampers effective implementation of development programs. Mr. Akapelwa said civil servants should acquaint themselves with the new administration's manifesto for them to know how they have to implement government programs. The Provincial Permanent Secretary said this when he addressed public workers in Luampa District when he visited the area. He said civil servants should be familiar with the new administration's core values if meaningful development is to be achieved. And Luampa District Commissioner Alfred Mandumbwa said the workforce in the district has increased after the massive teacher recruitment and also health workers that were recently recruited. Mr. Akapelwa was in Luampa District to check on government developmental projects.
We are the employees of the citizens of Zambia. These old women, the children you see there, out there, we are their employees. Our mandate is to deliver a service to the citizens of the Republic of Zambia. And since you are here in Luampa, your mandate is to deliver a service to the citizens of Zambia who are here in Luampa. You make an allegiance to the government of the day. Don't bring outside, whether you're in the opposition, so don't bring outside influences to fight the job of the DC or the job of the town this or my job. We are part of the same team led by the president to deliver to the people. So let's pull in one direction.
Our district is fast growing and most of the departments are available in the district. And the entire workforce in the district to date has gone up to almost 1,000 civil servants. Among them are the newly employed 214 teachers and 90 health staff. All these have already been put on the payroll and are getting paid.
Now, learners at Kalalantekwe Primary School in Shuangandu District have commended government for the provision of more desks at the learning institution. And Shuangandu District Education Board Secretary Katele Kalale says the Ministry of Education is targeting to make a total of 6,000 desks to cater for all schools in the district. Details in the following report by Pamela Inambao.
A government has continued to ensure that no learner should sit on the floor. In Shuangandu District, the Ministry of Education has embarked on renovating some damaged desks using various frames available, and so far a total of 200 desks have since been distributed to various schools in the district. The move has cheered learners.
I'm here to appreciate about the desks that you brought for us. At the way back, we were sitting 3, maybe 4, and it wasn't comfortable when writing. But at this point of time, we're sitting 2, 1, and it's very good at writing. Thank you.
Way back, we were sitting at least maybe 5, 4, so it wasn't very comfortable in writing. Others were sitting on the ground, and it was very frustrating. We appeal to them to bring for us more desks so we are more comfortable.
And Shuangandu District Education Board Secretary Katele Kalale confirms that the total number of desks the district is targeting to make.
The district has a shortage of 6,000 desks. So from the 59,000, we've managed to make 200 desks, which we have distributed to schools. We didn't want to spend money on transporting desks from the point of assembly to the zones or to the schools. So each zone was given a manufacturing plant or assembly plant where we are doing the manufacturing and then distributing to the nearby schools.
He further said that the increase in the Constituency Development Fund will also see most schools have many desks.
And we are very grateful to the government that money has been released to the councils through CDF and there is a share, the education as a share of that for desk procurement. We've done our part as a district office. We've submitted to the council the shortfall.
Pamela Inamba reporting for Zanis in Shiwangandu District, Muchinga Province.
Stakeholders in the agriculture sector have welcomed President Hakainde Hichilema's call to commence a process leading to the procurement of farming imports for the 2023-2024 farming season. Zambia National Farmers Union and the Sub-Sahara Farmers Organization have observed that the early procurement of imports will allow farmers to plan in advance.
While appearing on the Sun FM radio program in Ndola recently, President Hakainde Hichilema said government has begun the process leading to the procurement of inputs to avoid late delivery of farming inputs for the 2023-2024 farming season.
What are we doing this year? For 2023-2024, I dare say it here, the Minister of Agriculture promised, the Cabinet gave the approval that they will start the procurement process now, in February. Wow. That's the solution. Thank you. I can see you smiling. And we expect a smoother process, but I just want to alert you so that we work together. Maybe you know the answers there. The cheating is still going on the farmers.
Arising from this pronouncement, stakeholders in the agriculture sector, such as the Zambia National Farmers Union, have welcomed this development.
What we now want to see at Zambia National Farmers Union is the actualization of this whole thing. Yes, the plans are there. It's a very positive step that the government has taken. Now we want to see the actualization. We want to see the adverts start running. We want to see people tendering, the tendering process start. We want to see the procurement processes start. We want to see farmers starting to get inputs by June, July. That's how it should be. So that when they receive inputs on time, they already have their D, they already have the urea, they already have the seed, they already have pesticides, herbicides and everything. By July, farmers can now plan.
The Sub-Sahara Farmers Organization also feels early procurement of farming inputs will result in agricultural productivity in the country.
Representing farmers, we welcome such a development, because a development of that nature shows that we have a listening government. What has happened in the 2022-2023 farming season is something that has never happened in Zambia before. And a reaction which is this fast means that we are in an administration that means business. And for the farmer, as a farmer, we are really happy about it, because timely preparation means a timely production. When you've got all your inputs on time, you plan what hectare you want to plant. You can even forecast how much yield you want to get for that farming season.
The head of state on the same program clarified matters that slowed the delivery of farming inputs on time in the 2022-2023 farming season.
People got fertilizer for many years. Contracts, got paid, madam, didn't deliver the fertilizer. So the suppliers that we found, a number of them were involved in those scams. In 2022 season to 2022, we had to clean up the system.
Kalan Muchima reporting for Zanis.
Financial Sector Deepening Zambia, a non-governmental organization dealing with financial literacy, is implementing a project called Financial Inclusion in Schools. Financial Sector Deepening Zambia Chief Executive Officer Engwase Mwale has visited Eastern Province to appreciate the implementation of the project.
Financial Sector Deepening Zambia is supporting government's goal of financial inclusion under the Financial Inclusion Project being implemented in Eastern Province. The project aims at improving the financial health of 750 persons with disabilities, as well as increasing access to financial services of the 750 caregivers to the person with disabilities in Chipata, Chadiza, Katete, Nimba, Petauke, and Sinda districts. Financial Sector's Deepening Zambia Chief Executive Director Engwase Mwale and her team are in Chipata district to check on the implementation of the project that was launched last year. The team visited Cheshire Home Society to appreciate their work.
And so through Cheshire Homes, we found an avenue of targeting the most excluded. And people with disabilities, especially children with disabilities, you will find that they may be excluded when it comes to attending formal financial education processes. So beyond that, of course, we took time off to just come and appreciate what is happening here at Cheshire Homes, to interact with the children that are here, and of course interacting with Sister Petronella. We've actually come to a realization that there's a lot more that needs to happen to be able to fully attend to the plight of children with disability.
The team later made a spot check on the Future Women's Saving Group of Unsingo area.
Come to see the work they're doing in financial literacy. We as FSD, we emphasize on including, making sure that no one is excluded from financial literacy, financial know-how, and also access to financial services. And in our visit, we are very particular with ensuring that inclusivity to the disabled children, differently abled, or those that are physically challenged. And we see that the parents here have brought such children to school. We understand the challenges they face. Here there's no public transport, they don't have means of transport to bring them to school. So again, there is a high danger that some of the parents may not manage to lift their children and bring them to school.
And Cheshire Home Society Chipata Programs Manager Muma Mulabanya appreciates the visit by the team.
I have to appreciate what they have done, and it actually shows lots of commitment that they have in improving the lives of people and those that are vulnerable, especially those with disabilities. Having to see the leaders of an organization coming into the most rural parts of the country to come and see how their interventions are actually improving the lives of the people that we serve.
Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
One of the stories making headlines in our news, ZESCO has restored power to Mfuwe and other parts of Mambwe District after 8 days of outage caused by the collapse of a tower along the 66 kilovolts Msoro-Mfuwe transmission line. ZESCO Deputy Director Transmission Clement Siame has confirmed to Zanis in Chipata that electricity supply was restored last night after engineers successfully erected the damaged towers on the transmission line. Mr. Siame has since thanked the people of Mambwe District for their patience during the 8 days power outage, stating that ZESCO endeavors to save its customers in the best way possible. Mfuwe and other areas of Mambwe District have been experiencing the worst floods, which have left crop fields and infrastructure damaged. President Hakainde Hichilema recently visited the area to check on the magnitude of the situation. And government has since commenced distribution of relief food and other forms of humanitarian assistance to the flood victims. The National Cholera Elimination Coordinator, Fred Kapaya, has commended stakeholders for their efforts in fighting the outbreak of cholera in Vubi District of Eastern Province. Dr. Kapaya says collaborative efforts from partners such as WaterAid are helping in the slowing down of spread of the waterborne disease. Davison Sakala has the details.
With cholera cases now standing at 76 in Vubi district, more stakeholders have come on board to help arrest the spread of the diarrhea disease. National Cholera Elimination Coordinator, Dr. Fred Kapaya, is happy with efforts by various partners in trying to bring cholera under control.
I must say thank you to WaterAid, because some of the successes that we have recorded is because of the support that has come through from WaterAid and of course all the other partners. So this is the way we are saying we should work, because cholera is not just a problem of the Ministry of Health, it is a problem of everyone. People are affected. We need the communities to come together and work with us. We also need our partners to help us in order for us to be able to contain the outbreak that we have in the country right now.
Using drama, among other initiatives employed, health authorities and partners have ramped up sensitization in the district.
This activity is being done with the support from WaterAid. Indeed, there are several other partners that have supported us to disseminate information, but we need to mention that with the WaterAid support, we have sensitized about 65% of the households in the district that we have sensitized. So far, This is what I can say. And it has seen us have a reduced number of cases from where we are receiving about 8 to 10 per day to somewhere we are receiving 1 now.
And one of the headmen in areas where sensitization is being done has commended health authorities for taking the initiative.
Niwokondwa inachipatalo bwera kuno akaphunzitsa nkhani ya matenda a cholera nachemukira kwambiri kuti inachipatalo bwera kuno ye tikakulandirani kwambiri manjani kambeka mpaka matenda a cholera ng'oopsa zedi ye mabweretsa drama otiphunzitsanso kapewedeka matenda ya cholera
Vube district has cumulatively recorded 2 deaths arising from cholera since the outbreak. Davison Sakala reporting for Zanis in Vube district.
And lastly, in our news, Luapula province has commemorated the International Mother Tongue Day, which falls on February 21st every year. Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Mighty Mumba has underscored the importance of preserving culture through languages. This year's International Mother Tongue Day was celebrated under the theme Multilingual Education, a Necessity to Transforming Education. Take a look.
In 2014, government introduced the policy of teaching those in early child education up to grade 4 in local languages. The benefits of teaching in local languages have been seen as attested by Luapula Province Education Officer, who says the policy has improved the way learners assimilate issues they are taught.
Ukwamba kuri ba early childhood na ba preschool baro kunanga tiba nursery ukufika mu grade 4 ukwamba ukufunda mundi nisha chikari kaji natumona ukaba chokoto ayamira ukufunda ngefini abana besu barechita breakthrough wangu.
Province Permanent Secretary Mighty Mumba has officiated at the commemoration of International Mother Tongue Day in Mansa District.
Chaliba chikankala ukwishiba ukulanda nokubelenga bwino mululimi lwa chikaya ekyo natwibikirisheko nokusambirira ukubomfya ululimi lwa chikaya ekukana laba intambishesu nentuntuko yesu.
Pupils drawn from selected schools in Luapula Province competed in a number of activities which included debate in local languages. Kenneth Chomba reporting for the Zanis News in Mansa District.
Thank you, Kennedy. We now recap on the headlines. Floods affect 16 villages in Lukanga swamps. Lufanyama MP warns Milopa health post workers. Stakeholders happy with President Hichilema's call for early procurement of farming inputs. And lastly, ZESCO restores power to Mambwe after 8 days of darkness. We end the news just here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.